Hey you guys, it's me, KTB, and today I'm going to be reviewing Vampire Academy by Richelle Mead. I'll read you the synopsis and then I'll get into my review. Okay. Lisa Dragomir is a mortal vampire. She must be protected at all times from the fiercest and most dangerous vampires of all, the ones who will never die. Rose Hathaway is Lisa's best friend and her bodyguard. Now, after 2 years of illicit freedom, they have been dragged back inside the iron gates of St. Vladimir's Academy. The girls must survive a world of forbidden romances, a ruthless social scene, and terrifying nighttime rituals. But above all, they must never let their guard down, and lest the immortal vampires take Lisa forever. I was recommended this book on Goodreads. I'd recently finished the House of Night series and I was looking for something similar because I really enjoyed that one. And so someone came up and recommended Vampire Academy and I was like, oh, it sounds interesting. Had a look because on Amazon you can have this look inside feature for the books that have Kindle thing, and so, you know, on the web browser, and you get a kind of a very, very short bit of the first chapter, and I was like, oh, the first sentence is really, really good. I'll definitely get it at some point. Now here I am. I've finished reading it and it disappointed me a little bit. It was incredibly expositioning. Things were explained way too much and there wasn't really much showing going on, which is something that always grips me into a story when it's shown instead of told, and I get a little bit bored when it's told to me that this is how it is, this is the world. And as I've probably said in some of my other reviews, that a little bit of exposition, sure, you can kind of get away with it, but too much of it can be a bit of a bad thing and you can get really bored with it. And I think I did get a little bit bored when, you know, it kind of got a bit exposition in. I kept on putting it down and picking it back up again and putting it back down and then picking it back up again. It didn't help that the main protagonist, Rose, didn't feel like she should have been the main protagonist in the current state that she was, the current state of being that she was. It felt more like it should have been Lisa's story instead, but instead we were kind of inside Rose's head and we went inside Lisa's head, and those were the more interesting bits because Rose and Lisa have this bond as a result of an accident, and so the rare glimpses that we got properly inside Lisa's head were some of the best bits of the book, because her head was more interesting and there was a lot more kind of conflict going on inside her head than in Rose's. And inside Rose's, she was kind of bigging herself up quite a lot and then demeaning others who were pretty much doing exactly what she was thinking about herself, and it was a little bit grating inside her head at times, and I didn't feel like she should have been the protagonist, to be honest. There was some sense of mystery with the few bits that weren't school-related drama. There were kind of these animals that kept appearing dead in very close proximity to Lisa, like all bloody and gutty and gory and horrible, and those images were really visceral, but it also had this real sense of mystery as well. And I just wish there was more bits of that before, like, the end 50 pages where it was all kind of answered and all really kind of, that last 50 pages were really great, but by that point it was kind of like I just wished the earlier bits had had some action and tension and conflict like that. The pacing was reasonable. It wasn't kind of dragging out too much. It could have been, there could have been a bit more action, but otherwise it wasn't kind of like 50 pages in one thing. It wasn't to the kind of extremes that you could get. So it wasn't bad, but it wasn't too good. It was just okay. So yeah. And yeah, it was a bit weird until the last 50 pages. Rose wasn't really an active protagonist, which kind of further fueled the whole she shouldn't really be the protagonist of this book kind of thing, because she wasn't really that active. Lisa was doing most of the active portions of improving their friendship, and beyond kind of going in at the last second and kind of threatening people, Rose wasn't really doing much. I know that this series has quite a huge fan base, and I respect that, you know, everyone else has an opinion. This is just mine. I don't think I'll be getting the second book. Mostly because, you know, while it was a decent read, and it's certainly not the worst book that I've ever read, I just wouldn't want to kind of have another decent read in the series, and then another decent read, and kind of, but except knowing that the last one was a decent read, but knowing that the last one was a decent read kind of makes me a little bit less likely that I'll read the next one, if that makes sense. Because knowing that the previous one wasn't that great and wasn't something that I enjoyed too well, I did kind of get on with it, but not in the way of my usual reading habits. Knowing that, I don't think I could go on and get a second one, and knowing that I didn't particularly get on too well with the previous one, would kind of make me less likely to want to read it. And yeah, I would give this one a 3 out of 5. Because it is a good, decent read, but my normal race through them in 2 days reads I usually give 4 or 5 in some cases, like More of Me, and yeah. So it's, yeah, I'm not going to get the next one. I'll put the links down below just so that you can go and check it out and see what, just in case that you kind of thought this kind of appeals to me, just in case you kind of think school drama is my kind of thing, because there is a lot of school drama in this one. In fact, it's pretty much the entire book, but up until the last 50 pages or so, it's almost entirely school drama, which didn't exactly help. But if you like that kind of thing, and you're into kind of vampire books, I'm sure you'll probably enjoy it. But unfortunately I'm not really I think the age range is kind of 14 or something, 14, 15, and you know, since I'm 21, it kind of is a bit of a setback for those kind of vampire style books, and yeah, I prefer House of Night, to be honest. Yeah, so I'll put the links below. If you want me to kind of reread House of Night and review those, I will be happy to do so. Just put in the comments below that you'd like me to do that. So yeah, I'll put the links below. I've said that about 3 times now. Bye guys, I'll see you next time.